Hey everybody, welcome back to MaryBird's Backyard Garden. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mary.
And that's Mary Bird right there, folks. So, Mary, we're going to start out with our usual, but what's new in the garden this week?
We have had a very busy and nice week. Lovely week.
We have.
We took a little field trip. I might have talked about it before. I can't remember, but we went to Backbone Valley Nursery.
We did.
Marble Falls.
We did. And that place is amazingly large. And it's actually really cool place.
You can find so many varieties of things there that you don't normally find in other places.
Yes. We're very well kept too. Everything's like neat and kept up and watered. And I like it. It's big. There's a lot of people working there. So it was kind of cool.
And knowledgeable people.
Very knowledgeable people.
Answer questions for you right away.
Right.
And if they don't know it, they can find someone who does.
Yeah, no, it was a very fun trip out that way. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it.
We drove out and took pictures in the wildflowers.
We did. We got some bluebonnet pictures.
Bluebonnets. And we saw a cactus growing out of a pecan tree.
We did. That was kind of strange, wasn't it?
That was excellent.
Yeah.
How did it get up there?
It was a nice little road trip out into like a country road to get out there from our place. And
that's right.
It was kind of fun. It was a fun little trip that we took out there.
A winding spring road.
A winding spring. There you go.
Well, we picked up a Lady Banks rose while we were out there. And I decided to plant it opposite of the Peggy Martin on the rose arch.
Yes.
And we were able to get that in the ground. How many hours did it take us to dig the hole?
For the rose?
For the rose.
My gosh. Well, you started. I'll tell you what, you started. You were a trooper out there. You started it and really got it going.
Wow.
But the rock is unbelievable here. Yeah.
We used a sledgehammer. A rock bar. That weighs 17 pounds.
Hitting it with a shovel. We have a little rock breaker guy that we hit him with. The problem is it's not like it's not like you're just trying to get a rock out. The problem is that it's rock.
Yes.
It breaks up, but you can't, it's like 3 inches down. It's rock.
It's rock.
So it was, it took, I don't know, about 3 hours.
But if we do a water test where you fill it and you see how quickly it drains away, it does not hold the water like a bowl would hold the water. Mm-hmm. It does drain away fairly nicely.
Yeah, it's just a rocky.
That's good for planting.
We live in a rocky, live out in...
We're rocky gardeners.
we're the rocky gardeners.
We're not the rocky gardeners, but
we are MaryBird's Backyard Rocky Gardens.
And what did you see today on
you know what? Out there, I saw a red-bellied woodpecker.
Oh my goodness.
Which is pretty cool.
We don't
see a ton of woodpeckers here.
No, I don't think I've ever seen one.
No, he was out on the bird feeder, and then he kind of flew and was on the tree between us and our neighbor.
Oh
it was really cool.
Awesome.
Really cool looking bird.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's the first sighting we've had of that in our backyard.
It is. And we've had a ton of birds here lately. There's like crazy amount of birds.
There are all day long.
It is. It's really nice. And the dogs obviously tell us that they're there.
Yes, we have 2 Boykin Spaniels, and they are bird hunting dogs, right?
They're duck dogs, and they're very, they're selective on which birds. For whatever reason, we were trying to decide yesterday. We sat and watched them, and some birds kind of make them go, and some birds they could care less about. So.
There was a mockingbird that was eating away at the seeds on the little bell. It's shaped like a bell. And they didn't even notice.
Didn't care. They don't care about hummingbirds. Could care less about them. But some birds,
set them off.
Set them off, and they're on the prowl. So that was fun. But the other thing is, we did put your rose arch up yesterday.
Yes, we did. It went together very nicely, very quickly.
It did. And happily. The four places we need to put it in the ground, we actually got it in.
I was shocked.
Yeah, I kind of thought that would be another hour.
Spikes,
but yeah.
I anticipated those were going to be a real struggle, but they didn't give us any problems.
It worked really well. We'll have to take some pictures and put them on the blog and maybe our Instagram too, and so people can take a look at them.
That'll be gorgeous.
Good.
Yeah, I was happy to get out there this morning, actually, and I planted some colorful plants in our front garden and posted some pictures on our Instagram.
Yeah.
So
very nice.
That was a very nice morning.
I love it. Well, I know that your main subject this week is agaves.
Do you remember last week we were talking about an agave that you picked up?
Mm-hmm.
And you asked me if it was a cactus and a succulent or a succulent. And I was hesitant about it, and I thought that it was in the cacti family. So I decided I would do a little research on the agave this week, and I was very surprised to learn a lot.
Good. Well,
a lot. So
nice. And you're going to share some with us, I hope. Okay.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice.
An agave is actually a succulent. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is because it stores water in the leaves, and they grow in arid, dry conditions, and they capture all that water so they could use it when it gets to be low water conditions in the plant. And
that's why they survive. Do. Yeah, that's why they survive real well, like in the desert areas and stuff. Okay.
And they are very native to the Southwest. They're native to the Americas. Mm-hmm. They're native in the Caribbean.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And they're just so architectural, right?
Yeah, there's so many different
varieties.
That's what's kind of cool is you go and look. There's a million varieties. They have some strange shapes and some traditional shapes. Some have. They have the flowers too, or is that a?
We'll get to those flowers. The flowers make it a very interesting plant.
All right. Yes. I'm getting ahead of you here.
You're getting a little ahead.
Okay. All right. I'm going to let you
So,
go.
Speaking of the flower, they are actually in the family called Asparagaceae, which is the asparagus family.
Okay.
And the reason for that is the look of the flower stalk. As it comes up, it looks just like an asparagus spear. And that's why they placed it in that family. And they are also known, some of the varieties are known as the century plant. And people used to say it would take 100 years for it to bloom. That's not quite true, between 10 and 30 years.
Okay.
And they produce a flower stalk called an inflorescence.
Oh.
Yes. Very interesting.
Wow.
So they have been used. Traditionally, the people in Ecuador and Mexico and the native Southwest and all throughout Mexico and everything have used them for food, of course. You never want to eat it raw, and you don't want to get the sap on your skin or in your eyes because it's highly irritating. But they learned a way to take the heart out of the agave and roast it.
Oh, wow.
And they could use it for a food source.
Interesting.
They can use it for a beverage source, which we'll get to later.
Oh,
I'm sure you're familiar with those
Okay, I'm not gonna spoil it on you, but I think I know where you're going on that. It's a good thing. I like it.
Interesting enough, there is one variety of agave. You've heard of sisal or sisal rope, the rope that you buy in the store.
Yes.
It's made from the fibers of the Agave cisalana.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And that they've made shoes, nets, ropes.
Wow.
They will sometimes be able to use the sharp points, and they'll strip away a long thread, and they'll use that for a needle and thread to sew things.
That's cool.
That was so cool. I was
really
so
cool.
interested to learn that. And I was really interested in, they have used the agave plant to make a form of paper.
Wow.
They will peel the thin outer membrane away from the pulpy inside and dry it. And they've used it for paper. And a lot of times they could tell that it is from the agave plant because as the plant grows, it's clustered together tightly. And so the imprint of the inside leaf forms itself on the outside leaf. And so they could tell historical papers
that's pretty cool.
From that imprint.
Very interesting.
I did not know that.
No. I had no idea. That's cool.
Yeah, they made use of all parts of it.
Wow.
Super interesting. And then, so we get to your favorite part and my favorite part perhaps sometimes, because here in Texas, we do like to have some margaritas.
We do.
So they make several forms of, well, I'm not sure if you call all of them mezcal or if you only call some of them mezcal. Mm-hmm. But mezcal and tequila come from Oaxaca and Jalisco in Mexico.
Okay.
And I think mezcal can be made from about 40 varieties of agave. But tequila is only made from the blue Weber agave, which is a cultivated variety.
Wow.
And they also used to make a drink from the fermenting the juice of the flower stalk, which is called pulque.
Oh, okay.
And
That's very interesting.
It's super interesting.
So let me ask you, there's a plant called the sotol. The sotol plant, right?
So the sotol is
that
in the lily family.
Okay,
in the Liliaceae.
Non-agave or...
It's not an agave.
Okay.
But it would be an interesting plant to research.
Yeah, because I know we have those here in Texas. And they actually do make an alcoholic out of some... There is a place here that does that. They make it out of the sotol plant.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure if that was like an agave plant or if that was something different. So we'll have to look at that.
It is a different plant.
Okay.
But that sounds like it's super interesting. I'd like to learn about that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Well, the old agave, I mean, heck.
I watched a YouTube video where they were harvesting the agave, and it's pretty intense to watch the gentleman cut the leaves away. They don't want any of the sap to touch them. So they're careful in how they do it, and they use razor sharp tools to cut into the heart of the agave. And so that was very interesting.
Yeah, wow.
And I think that a lot of times it's passed down generationally, the ability to be the harvester.
Yeah, it's probably a skill you'd have to learn. Well,
yeah.
Very cool information on the agave.
Well, I do want to give you a little bit more information.
Well, I would love to have a little bit more information.
Since we have one in a container that you're growing in our yard.
We do, now that we've confirmed that. We've confirmed that's an agave.
I believe that the one you picked out is called an agave marginata.
Okay.
And that is identifiable because it has the yellow veining that's on the margins of the leaves. So I think that's the one that you have.
It is. I believe that's right.
Mm-hmm. The flowers, like I said before, are called inflorescences. And that's because they come up like a giant asparagus spear, and they can grow very fast. People say if you sit there long enough, you can watch them grow, But they have these clusters of flowers that come out all the way along that big stalk or branch. And each little flower is so rich in nectar that the pollinators just flock to the plants.
Wow.
And I think they begin to flower from the bottom of the inflorescence and go out towards the tip. And so a few of the animal or wildlife species that love to come are bees, other insects, some moths, birds, and bats.
Oh,
because
wow.
the nectar is so rich and plentiful.
That's interesting.
So these plants are what is called monocarpic. And what that means is they're going to produce one inflorescence, and then the parent plant is going to die. And sometimes I heard one person describe that it could take about 2 years for that whole process to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is the main parent plant can form pups, which are small plants that are like the parent, or sometimes along the inflorescence as they get pollinated, they'll form a bulbil, and you could pluck that off. It's like a small plant and plant it in the dirt, and it'll grow into another parent plant. And they are, of course, in arid conditions, so they want full sun. They love the sun. Here in our inland, intense heat area, if you have a place where they could get some afternoon shade, a lot of them will be pretty happy about that. But we see them growing all over the place, just right out.
No, we do. Yeah, they're just kind of out in the open. And they seem to do okay.
They do pretty well. They need to have soil that is very, very well draining. They have low water requirements. And you just kind of want to watch the leaves to see if they're well watered or if they're beginning to get too dry and things like that. And then also, I read some people say there's about 200 varieties. Some people say there are 300 varieties. So most of the varieties that I was able to discover grow very well in zones 8 to 10, where 9B. And there are a few that you can look up that are hardy down to about zone 5. And that is a negative 20 Fahrenheit or negative 28 Celsius.
Okay.
Yours doesn't happen to be one of those. So
I think we're okay.
We'll be bringing it in the garage.
Well, yeah, it doesn't get that cold.
It doesn't get that cold here.
Not even close.
No.
Good try, though.
But in a container, remember, if you're growing a plant in a container, the roots are more exposed to the cold weather. And really, you want a container, like for us, we're in 9B. So a plant that's hardy in 7B would probably last through the winter in a container. But otherwise, you want to try to protect them a little bit.
Well, wow.
It's a lot, right?
That is, we're going to call it the incredible agave.
There's so much more to learn about it, too. Yeah, that's
really cool.
And the sotol. I'll be excited to learn about that.
Well, it's kind of cool because it's a plant that people use for sustenance and for, for other things in their societies. So that's really, really cool. Very nice.
Pretty soon we'll be going to the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center. We will.
Okay.
They're having their annual plant sale come up.
Yep.
And we'll be attending. So last time we were there, we did happen across a sotol.
We did.
And so this time maybe we'll look for another one.
All right. Yeah. They shoot up that huge stalk up the middle, right?
Yes, they do.
They're kind of
But I don't know if they are monocarpic, meaning that they will pass away after they do that stalk. Okay. I need to learn about that.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for that information, Mary, on the agave. What else we got?
So last week, I was very excited to learn about a book called A Beginner's Guide to Succulent Garden, written by Taku Furuya.
Okay.
And it's published by Tuttle Publishing. And so I had a chance to take a look at it, and I really like this book. It is very nicely separated into seasons of the year. And you could look up the information about each plant that you're interested in. It tells you soil, water requirements, when it flowers, how difficult they are to grow. And it's just a very nice book, and I'm going to be very happy to have it on my reference shelf.
Nice. Very nice. Okay.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. 2 green thumbs up. If we're gardening. I just made that one up.
You're good.
All right. Well, that's a good book review.
That's a good book review.
What else is on your agenda?
I know that you look forward mostly to having color in the garden.
I do.
Yes. So some of the annual flowers that we could look forward to planting in April, which I'm looking forward to as well.
Okay.
It's listed as a marigold, but it's really the French marigold or a tagetes that they're talking about here, because your calendula, which they also call a marigold, is going to begin to get too hot for it pretty soon. But we could plant now zinnias, purslane, and portulaca. Those are succulents as well. And interestingly enough, they were a food source. Purslane was a food source that is high in vitamin C.
Actually never heard of that one.
We've grown it here in the yard.
Well, I say actually, I've never heard of it, but let's be honest. I haven't heard of a lot of flower. I'm the helper.
Zinnias,
Zinnias, yes. And sunflowers, we've grown those. I know those.
And if you're planting in the shade, you could look forward to planting caladiums and impatiens right now. They are shade-loving and a little bit more moisture-loving.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have to search
Very
for
nice.
shade here. So
our yard, we have to search for shade.
Yeah, we don't have what I would call very mature trees or anything yet. So
none.
We're getting there. We are getting there. So shade is at a premium. So I think we generally go for the sunny plants, right? Am I right, Mary?
You are so right.
Okay.
And the zinnias and the marigolds, the French marigolds, have done so well in our garden. So
nice.
They're kind of like a what can I say? Like a supporting plant for color.
Yeah.
And salvias. Salvias do very well in our garden.
Okay. And I planted peppers. So
you did.
I think they like the heat, right?
Oh, Jeff, you have so many peppers
I do.
on there.
They're starting to come up pretty good. So I'm excited about that. We'll make some food out of them. And
one of the ones you planted was a crushed red pepper.
It was a crushed red pepper. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. But I have jalapenos and some other different varieties of hot peppers. So I kind of like those because they grow quick. You can kind of see you can see what's going on pretty quick. You don't have to wait months and months. I don't have a lot of patience. I personally don't have a lot of patience out there, but they are nice to look at. And your tomatoes are starting to come up. You've got some tomatoes out there.
Yes. I have one beautiful tomato. And unfortunately, what happened was the sun baked the name off of the name tag. But it looks like a black satin dress.
It is a different color.
My goodness,
yeah, it's really
so
cool looking.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Things are actually starting to look up. And of course, my favorite, the roses are blooming. They're blooming like crazy right now. And I like it.
Which rose is your very favorite that we have in the yard?
Oh, I'm going to go with the yellow one that's out there. And that is...
It's a very famous chef. She was on TV.
It was a Julia Child rose. It was a quiz, and I think I passed it.
Yay!
So, yes, I like that one. It's very well formed. It's very pretty. Mm-hmm. But the other ones are coming up great. I like.
They are. Well, they're still young. She's older than some of the other roses we have.
So it's starting to look good. I know you're excited.
I am.
Yeah, everything's starting to bloom. I actually mowed the lawn one time already, so it's getting to be that time of year.
It is. And to give that some context, we have had some rain. I don't think we've had quite 2 inches of rain, have we?
No, not quite.
So we have not been able to have any type of watering since February the 12th.
Right. We're still on our water restriction.
We're still on they're doing some repairs, so we're on water restriction. And all of this is happening without any irrigation.
It is, which is pretty amazing because honestly, we've not, I think our little rain gauge over that period of time, maybe 1.5 inch total. Mm-hmm. And we've had some hot days too. So
yes.
Yeah, everything's done well. So I'm ready to
Very happy
be able to turn the old irrigation back on personally.
Yeah.
my thing. But
it is.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Well, very good.
Very nice.
Do you have anything else for us?
I have that we will be looking up Sotol, but I don't know if it'll be the next one or not.
We will look up Sotol. That would be very good. Very good. The agave was very cool. Didn't know all that stuff about it. So we appreciate everybody joining us here at MaryBird's Backyard Garden. We have put up an Instagram. We're Instagrammers now. We'll put a link in the show notes for that. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we have the blog out there that we've been updating as well weekly that goes along with the podcast. So we appreciate everyone joining.
We do.
Yeah, we really do. And this is fun for us. And it's kind of fun for us to go through each week and have a topic. And well, I say us, for Mary to have a topic.
It's very fun for us.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, it is a learning adventure, I'll tell you. So
it is.
I'm enjoying it.
Yes, very, very much so. But again, thank you guys for hanging with us and joining us. And we hope to see you guys next week here at MaryBird's Backyard Garden. Until then.
Happy gardening.
Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.